as we normally do, we start our meetings with a moment of silence for about 20 seconds, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could stand, I appreciate that.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call of members. Vice Mayor Robin Schick is at a conference today, so she won't be here. Are there any additions to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second? Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Lehman?
Aye.
Mr. Serb? Ms. Robertson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Is there a motion to approve the, no minutes to approve? That's good. Council announcements. We'll start with Mr. Algen.
I have nothing this time.
Mr. Allen?
I have nothing this time either.
Mr. Lehman?
Nothing this time, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Serb?
Nothing with this time.
Ms. Robertson?
Nothing this time.
And I'd just like to say thank you for this large attendance here today, and thanks to all the volunteers out there who can get us through each weekend. And hopefully the sun will shine this weekend, and we can have a little better enjoyment out there with all the stuff going on. Don't forget that next weekend we have a big band thing going on at the foundation with Tommy Tupin. That should be fun. Item 8 is presentations. We'll start with Point of View Schools.
Yes, sir, no presentation tonight. Just want to let you all know that the school division is working hard to close out the school year. Student and teachers are extremely busy with SOL prepping and testing and trying to make sure that our students are having an engaging end of the school year. And we just truly appreciate your support. One last thing is that the high school is sending personal invitations to each of you for graduation date and time to be provided in that invitation, okay? All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Roberson, Westmoreland County Supervisor.
Good evening, everybody, and it's not raining for a change. Couple of things, we have ordered our, like last year, those mosquito things, and I think we're abundant for mosquitoes this year. So if you want to go to the county and get them, I know that Rob Murphy had ordered some. I was going to say, if he needs more, contact the county, and we can order a whole bunch, and of course, naturally, the more you order, the cheaper the cost is and stuff, so we can get rid of, try to calm down the mosquitoes and stuff. The county's auditors do not want the people at the dump, all the way down to Montrose, to handle any money anymore. So what do we do? They checked with some other places, and they have a voucher. So you have to stop at the county treasurer's office and get a voucher to take your garbage and stuff over to the dump. And hand it to them. And that should say garbage. What we have out here, Monroe's birthplace, that's fine, there's no change there. It's things like when you take a truckload of brush down, it's $5. It's still $5 for a voucher. You can get one voucher, you can get a book of vouchers. My wife will make me get a book of them to get the yard clean. She does that. Also, tires, they're still $1 a dump, which will get a voucher to get rid of it. I think it's $1 for a tire, off the rim is $2 if it's on. So, and that's a good deal. We've been trying to buy tires in the area, so that will be advertised. What?
Still cash only?
At the treasurer's office, I think you can give a credit card, but,
I mean, when you pay with a credit card or a check at the pump station, that's okay, it's just they're not accepting cash, correct?
no.
Nothing
You got
at all?
nothing at all. They'll just look for a voucher. That's gonna start off, that's, the only problem I have with that is when you start that, that means side roads are gonna be full of trash.
Yeah, the old road.
The old road is number one. The county can send county sends a group from the jail out to clean it. It can be cleaned this weekend, and by next weekend, you never know anybody with it. It's all dirty as what it is. But the auditors say we've got to stop having money out
I
there.
can understand cash, but credit cards and checks,
That's what
they're
they,
gonna have a tough time with contractors and work.
I understand that. I don't know of any other way, because
The
of,
world figures it out, cash, I can understand.
so, that's an unfortunate thing. That will happen July 1. And they'll be advertising in the papers and stuff exactly how the procedure goes. And things like this. And we'll all be looking forward to that.
Suggestion is just,
He says it's the auditor, I don't believe that.
It is the auditors, because they don't want any cash, any money out there.
You don't have to have cash, you
Do what?
don't have to have.
We don't have cash now. We don't have cash now, it's checks and stuff, because I took some stuff out there and I said, here's my $5, and he went, no, I don't have it, you gotta give a
There,
check.
let me ask my question again, are they still accepting checks?
To July 1, yes.
can you pen a letter from the town of Palm Beach, suggest that we would prefer that they didn't do that, because Steve's right, we're gonna have stuff all over the roads.
You're right.
People aren't gonna go to the
Either
vouchers.
that, they gotta issue counts.
That wouldn't be a bad idea either, but I don't know who would
I
take
mean,
care
it's
of that.
BFI that runs the thing,
Right,
and they run them everywhere, and they use accounts and credit cards and checks all over.
that would be fine, but I don't know how much more that'll cost the county for BFI to do that, that's one of the other problems. So, not the town,
I
Not
write
the
my
county.
checks to BFI.
okay.
When I go as a contractor, I write them to BFI.
We'll see, that's what they've come up with.
Will we have time to discuss this, or it's, I know you said July 1, but when?
July 1 is when it's going into effect, so between now and then, we have some meetings, we got a meeting in
There's
June.
marked loader at the gate to clear the entrances and orders.
So, and it's getting, the problem is it's getting very, very expensive to mess with. Garbage, trash, and everything else. We're trying not to go up on any of that, but, the brush was over $100,000 last
Yeah,
year.
but they keep that separate, right?
They do burn it, that's, it was still $100,000 worth of stuff that they had to deal with. So, there was,
Yeah, how long are the vouchers good for? Say I go buy a book down in the county.
I know at least a year, and it may be longer, I'm gonna ask that Monday night.
And my other question is what about county providing the town with vouchers so that people that live in this end do not have to go past it?
I asked that, and it will probably be with the town
Buy the
and the
vouchers.
treasurer's office.
Yeah, Larry, I was just gonna say, can we sell the vouchers in the town?
I'll ask that, but if, but you've got to agree to that first, I'll say, to go with it.
I still think we ought to look up the legality of this and so forth.
But that's what I thought, bring up a books of vouchers up here and let the town sell them to the people. And like I said, this is not out here at James Monroe's birthplace, this is if you gotta go all the way to Montrose.
Wild Sally Road.
Yeah, off Wild Valley. Okay? All right, let's see. Let's see, and since we had a decent response, last time I did a presentation of the county budget and stuff, I'm gonna try to do that again. It'll probably be a month or two before that happens, because there's activity in the county with the new school and stuff like that. But, I'll let everybody know when that's gonna be if you wanna, see where your county dollars are going and stuff like that. We'll do that again for the new budget. Okay?
Your
Any
budget
questions?
passed. Your budget passed, correct?
Our budget passed.
With the cost increase on.
2 cents, yes, sir.
Tax increase, everybody heard it?
Yep. Any questions?
Thank you, Larry.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Planning Commission. Maureen?
Good evening. First of all, I want to tell you that with all the work that the commission's doing, I have to say, I'd rather be there than there. I'm learning a lot. One of the things that we work on as Planning Commission is the capital improvement plan. You know, last year there was no income for us to get our capital improvement plan approved, and therefore we silently sat and waited for this year and did propose a capital improvement plan. We are hoping that the citizens of this town will be able to see some projects begin so that they will feel safer and know that stormwater and all those other issues that they're complaining about are in the process. We also would like to tell you that we are at the crossroads of improving the comprehensive plan. We have held over 20 meetings and had exactly 2 questionnaires responded to, including the council and the commission's questionnaire. We also have had individuals contact us, which has been very successful, and we have incorporated all their suggestions and ideas into a package of who we are, where we're going, and what we need. We now are at the point of creating an action plan for 10 years. We begin that tomorrow at our work session. We will take each word in the new vision statement and define what the objectives for attractive are and what are the individual steps to approve that particular section of the vision statement. We hope to have steps that will include years for accomplishment so that we do not just leave it for 10 years. We found that didn't work in the previous comp plan, and therefore we are detailing it in our new plan. We hope that you'll be able to see it. Come join us. We meet every third Thursday for the work session, and of course our last Thursday of the month. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
We've been talking about the school having their separate CIP, but part of the mandate for our town CIP is the school's sub-CIP section. So I just want to make sure that we've got the school talking to the planning commission to make sure we get that blended in, and that CIP is separate from capital expenditure.
That's right. We have talked about that, and the commission had a lengthy discussion about it. And I met with Robin Schick purposely, because she's been on the commission since we started this in 2015. And we hope that there will be an equality of balance in those in that particular area. We know the school has needs, but the citizens of this town have waited a long time for some of these improvements.
Thank you, Maureen. Downtown Colonial Beach? Joyce?
Good evening, everyone. Joyce Reimer, downtown Colonial Beach. We are very pleased to report that we made over $1,000 netted, over $1,000 on the Osprey Festival. And we think for the first time out that it's not bad. And for all of you, because it really was listening to the many nonprofit organizations, town government, business people who gave us ideas and tips and such creativity that made it such a success. So we're really clapping for everybody here. Now, those funds are held into reserve to spend on Colonial Beach for our efforts to revitalize our downtown with an emphasis on preservation-based development. Now, having completed a big beautification project on Colonial Avenue with the banners, and adding to our ongoing maintenance of the community bulletin board, I'd like to thank Rob Murphy for cleaning up around the community bulletin board, Public Works. We appreciated that. The flower bed, maintaining the flower bed, we'll get back to it this summer on the way into town, and our annual promotion of planting red geraniums to brighten up the business district and throughout the town, which is going beautiful and gorgeous this year. We are moving forward. Our major focus is we'll be doing thorough research, and depending on that research, public education and engagement on completing the state and federal certification of our historic district. May seem like I'm beating a dead horse, but I'm trying to keep that horse alive because it is a daunting project, and we've already been researching it for 2 years. So there's a lot of study involved. And also listening and talking to people, including all of the council and town government, residents, people with historic properties and so forth, to hear about objections, about questions, so that we can get answers for people. But historic district certification can't occur overnight. In the meantime, a reminder, downtown Colonial Beach is a stakeholder with a strong interest in what happens to downtown property and land that is owned and to be sold by the town. We continue to support sale of those properties with a vision in mind that the sale result in beautification of our downtown and development that does not become tomorrow's blight, but instead showcases the spirit and the heritage of this very special community that we all love. We are delighted that Jim Bell, DCB's 2018 president, has been awarded a scholarship to attend the training that Councilwoman Schick is attending, I believe tomorrow, on small-scale real estate development, and sponsored by the state and Virginia Main Street, of which we're an affiliate. So a member of our group is going to be training with Councilwoman Schick on this approach. So we look forward to hearing from both of them about such an approach can be implemented and result in the type of pleasing appearance that we all want for our community. Thank you.
Does everybody know our recyclers sell? That's a lot of work and cleanup going on up there. On Colonial Avenue. I mean, that'd be a huge boon if it did.
I don't know, I just saw the fence.
Sale signs are down, fences are up, I'm hopefully that's something that's happening.
We're working there every weekend before that.
They're rebuilding the fence along the backside.
Yeah, I saw it. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Susan, Chamber comments?
Good evening. I want to start with Art Walk last Friday. We showcased the whimsical art of Sharon Bailey Morris and her Chubby Chicks collection. This is an example of that, so please stop by the chamber and get your Chubby Chicks today. An event update, Potomac River Festival Committee continues to work hard. I believe invitations have gone out to town folks and to town council members. Please let Sally know as soon as possible if you're going to be able to attend and if you need a vehicle to ride in. As a reminder, the theme is There's No Place Like Home and features red glitter flip-flops. The Edna Lockwood will be docked at Town Pier, and of course Saturday night will feature the best fireworks around. Sally's also working on the Father's Day Car Show, the Rod Run, the Water Festival, and the Arts and Crafts Show, which are all coming up this summer. The next Bike Fest committee meeting is on May 19th. This weekend? Yes. The committee is excited to announce that Michael Ballard of Sturgis's Full Throttle Saloon will be at Colonial Beach Bike Fest this year. They're thrilled to have this nationally known figure and biker favorite at the event and hope that this is going to bring an additional population of folks to the event. April's Chamber Chat was delivered on April 1st. There's a great piece on Colonial Beach history of May Day in it. And in the event section, which is always listed on the left-hand side of the document, it took up the whole page this month. So a lot going on in Colonial Beach. The NGO group had its second quarterly meeting, and we were all very excited. The membership has expanded and now includes more NGOs, which is non-governmental organizations, nonprofits, the town council, and the planning commission. The meeting started off with a recognition of the importance of having all these entities working collaboratively and cooperatively. Topics we're working on include communication among organizations, the events application and process, the Colonial Beach Volunteer Brigade, which is a centralized volunteer database that is used for all nonprofit volunteer opportunities, tracking volunteer hours, a robust events calendar, and publicity of both the Visit CBVA and the Colonial Beach Chamber of Commerce full calendars on the websites. They complement each other and have some different information. For example, the Chamber lists all these happenings at state parks and Sandra's Wednesday night dinner at the Eagles, but the town website doesn't go into that kind of micro activities. They look at the bigger activities going on. The trolley, we know that it runs Memorial Day to Labor Day, as always, but for the first time ever, it will have chamber member advertising along the exterior and interior of the vehicle. It's a great opportunity for our local businesses to promote themselves, and we have sold out of advertising and did so very quickly. Remember, riding the trolley is free this year. WWER 88.1, We Are Colonial Beach, will be moving to the Chamber next week and expect to be live on air June 1. Bryce Hall, who's been with us for the last year on Fridays, working as notary and marriage officiant, has relooked at her business plan and feels that being having mobile services benefits her business. So she's no longer in there, so the radio station has the whole office space. The Chamber has worked on a summer jobs program with the school system. Mr. Turner did a survey an interest survey with all the students, and we've then linked him with businesses who are interested in providing summer jobs for kids, and we've set up dates for those folks to come in and interview with the kids. Bryce is one of the people that will be doing interviewing and providing information about notary services. State parks are coming in. We have landscaping, several different types of jobs that are available to the kids. The Chamber has a new employee. I mentioned this, the potential of this last month. Bobby Blevins is working as a handyman through the Bay Aging and Title V program. He's already worked on several projects, and we're really happy to have him. He's a great addition to the Chamber. The Chamber has also received, I think I told you we have this donation of furniture, but it came with no hardware, and we've been back and forth with the company to get the hardware. We have the hardware now, so we're really excited about that, and so now it's just the business of putting these things, figuring out and putting these things together. So that's our next hurdle. And then we'll have this very modern look. We're excited about that. And always, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it at the Chamber. Any questions?
Thank you, Sam. Sounds like Mr. Blevins going to be busy. Colonial Beach Foundation, Eric?
Good evening. Well, the foundation has been busy like all the other NGOs in town. Mother Nature was a little unpredictable this past weekend. We were supposed to have our sort of blowout cookout membership drive event at the foundation, at the community center. where we had invited our closest 3,500 folks from around town. And, well, that didn't happen because the weather seemed so unpredictable, we canceled early in the morning. As it turned out, we might have been able to do it, but, you know, hindsight is better than foresight. Anyway, we're going to reschedule that for June 1st. So if you had planned to come, please come on June 1st for the next Cinema on the Green. We're going to keep the same movie that we were going to show last weekend, which is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is a nice sort of family movie. The charity that will be hosted that night, or the nonprofit that will be hosted that night, is the radio station, and so they're going to be taking contributions, and they're going to be secretly starting, well, not, I guess it's not a secret anymore because Susan just announced it, but they will be launching the broadcast on that evening at that event, so please plan to come. We've been doing a bunch of other things. We are sort of in the middle of membership recruitment, so if you guys are not members, please consider joining. We'd love to have you as members. And we've started to produce a newsletter. I think 2 or 3 of them have gone out. 2 of them have gone out. And if it's okay with you guys, we will make sure that you are on the list to receive the newsletter so you can know what it is that we're doing. And it will excite you to join if you're not a member. Let's see. One of the things that we are trying to recruit right now is we're looking for funds for sending kids to 4-H camp. We have, I think, 10 or 11 kids at this point, and so we're looking for anybody who would like to contribute money to helping support that effort. It is a good effort. It's maybe one of the few times that some of these kids get to get out of town and go to someplace sort of, out in the nature. So if you feel like you'd like to support that, please let Dr. Farney know. I think he's still the one who was working on that project. So Dr. Farney can tell you about how to give him money for that. And we thought we'd also like to give you a little bit of a brief update on what we've been doing with your building, the community center. Just so you know that we are maintaining it very well. We've been fixing broken windows. We've been working on the parking lot with great help from Bill Millison, and also with great help from Camp Construction, Jay Camp. The 2 of them, Jay Camp and Bill Millison, have been doing a really, really great job for us. So we've been working on different things, trying to keep that building up and functioning and as attractive as we can make it. We've run hot water into the 2 bathrooms. We've been cleaning, and we added a porta potty, which is we did because the bathrooms in the building are not handicap accessible, and so this new porta potty that we have outside is handicap accessible. So now we are can have handicapped or special needs people join us for our events. We have been using the building in lots of different ways over the past month. The theater group has used the building for their events, for their shows. We've been renting it on several occasions over the past month. BAM has been using it. An Earth Day event was held at that event on April 20th. So basically, I just wanted to let you know that the building is being used and maintained, and it's money that you guys have spent wisely and we have maintained wisely, so that we can continue to use that building until such time as we might have a more permanent solution to our community center needs. I think that's it. Any questions?
The town has a resolution that was passed years ago. This is your time.
Oh, I'm done.
Thank you, Eric. Secretary, the town passed a resolution years ago to form a memorials committee, which initiated the plaque that hangs in the back of the meeting center here. The last time that it was actually added to was in 2005. When Bill Deller was on the council last year, he and I were assigned to try to resurrect the committee. And when Bill left, Pat and I have been working on it. The issue has been finding people that what we're trying to do is bring it forward in the dates that are missing. So in other words, instead of us, naming somebody immediately for something that's happened in 2018 or 19, we're trying to go back and show appreciation to the people coming forward since 2005 that have made a big impact in the town. The problem that Pat and I have run into with that is finding people with the historic background and knowledge of the people who were involved in issues back then and so forth. It looks like we have two definites and our two that we're trying to get final confirmation on. And this committee will actually, it's not a town committee. I'm just doing it because it was a resolution, but it'll be set up similar to one of the other committees, separate ad hoc committees in town, and they will actually identify people that have made a big impact to the town that would be added to that board in the back. Part of the problem that you run into is trying to think about the potential of a person that you're thinking about assigning as being a person who may be a recipient. So we've kind of been struggling with it a little bit there, but we are getting very close, and I've had some questions Eric and I spoke about the other day, but that's the gist of it, kind of the background of it, and kind of why it's really been taking some time to find the right persons to be on the committee. But anyhow, we hope to have that resolved very quickly and let them go off running, trying to fill in the last 14 years. Okay, just to answer that.
Yeah, thank you. Kathy probably has as much knowledge as anybody.
Well, we've actually got the prior town clerk possibly going to be one of the
Oh, yeah, probably sure. And, me too,
So,
probably does.
but it hasn't been,
Yeah.
not just one of fun.
I understand. Real quick, Colonial Beach Recreation? Karen?
Hi, I'm Karen Grisovich with the newly formed 501c3 nonprofit, the Colonial Beach Recreation Association. Our mission is to create, promote, and facilitate recreational and outdoor activities for the Colonial Beach community, with the goal being to get more people outside and enjoy all that Colonial Beach has to offer. At this point in our very small, I guess 2 months, we've kind of been a thing. We've already got programming in place, and I want to share a little bit of that with you. We started the 1st of May, Fridays in October. We have helped create yoga on the beach in partnership with the High Tides and the Traveling Yoga. So far it's been pretty well attended. 10 to 15 folks have been out there Friday mornings. Beach volleyball is coming back to the point. We've gotten permission from the town to install the posts that will be painted, and the net will be back up before the holiday weekend. We also plan on having pop-ups out there all summer. In collaboration, this is the one we're really excited about, in collaboration with Town Hall, a private citizen, and now the Colonial Beach Foundation, we'll be raising funds and installing an access ramp on the beach near the new public bathrooms. This will enhance the opportunities for all to enjoy the water. If you want a little bit more information about that, I can share that with you. We have ordered, or are going to be ordering 10 access deck panels from Access Rec. They're a leader in ADA compliance and beaches. It's going to cost $2,789.74. 7 will lead directly down to the water, and 3 will be on the sides as kind of a staging area. We're thinking that it's going to be between the beach shop and the riverboat. I know we're still working out those logistics, but this is a proof of concept kind of idea to see if it works, so that we could have an ongoing. And the neat thing that's happened with this, and talking to the foundation has put an accessibility line item in our budget so that monies can be donated ongoing, so that if this really works, we can add other ADA compliant accessible things all around the beach. To encourage healthy lifestyles, we'll be creating a series of pop-up farmers markets all season. On 6 Mondays throughout the summer, we'll be hosting a concept called Messy Mondays, which is going to be an outdoor exploratory experience for families. On June 15th, in collaboration with Cheers Fredericksburg, we'll be sponsoring the Northern Neck Beer and Wine Festival. We are the beneficiary of that event and are looking 4 volunteers. So we're really excited about starting out, and thank you for all the collaboration. It's been really, really neat to see so many groups work together, and we really want to get folks outside. Any questions?
Thank you, Karen. Okay, that's it for presentations. Monthly department reports, item 9. Karen
Good
Day.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and in the spirit that we have a public hearing, I will, and I've already disseminated this information out, I'll kind of brief by exception and take the highlights per department, beginning with the town manager department. Right now, the Torrey Smith project, I don't know if anybody's seen it today, we moved forward, we've cut some grass, and I've got Public Works working on the ditches to support the upcoming grading refinements that are going to occur, followed by the fencing and landscaping. And I know Coach Slope has been working diligently on getting individuals that are going to participate in putting the roof on the pavilion. He anticipates being able to perform that within the next week or two. And then subsequently, the playground and the bathrooms will follow. I know that he's reserved the playground, but I don't think it's been shipped or a payment has been made, but he's already identified the playground that will be coming in our direction. We also have a Conroe meeting next week. That's where I meet with Dahlgren at high tides in the morning and surrounding localities to discuss everything affiliated with Dahlgren activities and how it affects the neighbors. Hopefully, by the end of this meeting, we'll have the solution set for the PCAR procurement initiative, as well as we'll be moving the budget forward. What I've also done, I've had a lot of staff, we'll call it housekeeping, if you will. I've redesigned and developed an organizational chart that currently depicts our as-is status for how we are organized in a RAID for operations. And there's a little bit of a to-be future movement of the way I see the organization is going. It's currently sitting with my council liaison, vice mayor. I anticipate her being able to make some refinements to it, and then I'll push that forward next week to council for consumption. As well as the goals and objectives set forth for the town manager. I've been able to work on that over the last month, and it's sitting with the vice mayor for her to do some refining and some adjustments for your consumption as well. Also been working on job descriptions. I was able to have multiple contacts over the last week with Ms. Katz, and I believe that I'm going to be able to give the department heads their job descriptions, which will then facilitate the evaluations just to beef and strengthen our HR role inside of town hall. Been also working with the vice mayor on the real estate RFP. She's given me the format for me to go ahead and rebuild, and also identified some highlights that we want to make sure exist inside that RFP, which I plan to kick out for bid by the 10th of June. So pending any questions, I'll go ahead and move on to zoning and community development. Zoning and community development rather busy this month. It's that time of year and season. As you can see, the code compliance violation notices that we're now pushing almost triple digits. But the one thing that I would like to really kind of highlight is that we were able to secure a planner for community and zoning. His name is Mr. Briggs. He was a graduate from VCU. We're fortunate to have him. I expect great things out of him as he is inculcated with town operations and comes to know some of the institutional background. So he's a welcome addition to our team. And the Planning Commission with the Community Development has been working diligently. Every week that I turn around, they're having a meeting. Sensing sessions is what I call them, to where they're reaching out to different neighborhoods and really getting their input for the comprehensive plan. And I see a lot of goodness coming out of that activity as well. As well as they've been working on the food truck ordinance the council directed us to a month ago. Pending your questions, I'll move on to finance. Finance at this budget season, but we have had some secondary and tertiary activities, primarily focused on Edmunds integration. While it goes on in the background, it does take a lot of time integrating a new software system, and they've made leaps and bounds over the last 4 weeks in that. I don't want to belabor the points, but from an operational standpoint, being able to bring the building online with the new community system, that's a huge milestone for us, as well as being able to start taking electronic payments. With any software integration, you're going to have certain hiccups, but we haven't had any showstoppers thus far. But it's a lot of background work for the finance department to ensure that that transition remains fluid. In addition to that, there's been additional activities surrounding the anticipation of the P card. While it's easy to address at this level, what we do is we put in processes and mechanisms in place to ensure that our policies are aligned with not only the P card, but we just have to take another look and see how we operate. So when we implement the P cards that I anticipate you approving tonight, that we have a good way forward with that. And I just also wanted to bring out to everyone's attention that we have a CD expiring in August, and probably not this month, but next month I'll bring it to council's attention so we can discuss options and opportunities around that expiration date. Pending your questions, I'll move to police. This report typically speaks for itself. I think everybody's aware that earlier this week we had the Joint Task Force operation occurred that led to multiple arrests, roughly 10 to 12. No additional information at this point, as well as we've been able to send Officer Jenkins to the Rappahannock Regional Criminal Justice Academy, and the police chief's HR efforts have been moving forward, ensuring that we are well staffed within the police department. Any questions, I'll move towards Public Works. Public Works, it's a busy season, a lot of pre-summer activity. There's a lot of preparation that they've been undergoing. We're finishing up with our Atlantic broadband effort. We're still waiting on a couple connections. These are landlines going to the Public Works facilities. This is going to allow us to hopefully save some monies over the next fiscal year, being able to exercise that contract, as well as the Robin Grove facility upgrade is now operational. It started on the 29th, and we're coming to the conclusion of the water meter project. Pedestrian Plaza, which is a very highly visible activity, we've been able to make significant progress over the last 2 to 3 weeks with that. We're truly waiting on one, if not two documents before we're able to have complete submission. There's been a lot of activity and interacting between VDOT and all the players to make this happen. I'd be remiss to say that I was a little concerned when I initially took over the project, but now it looks that we're coming to the tail end. Time is tight, but it's going in the direction we want it to go. I think everybody's had a chance to see the road milling and paving, which was completed. I think it's a great addition to our town. I myself go down those roads quite often, and we're in desperate need of repair, and I think a job well done to Public Works on that. They also, on behest of council, made sure that the citizens in that area were properly notified ahead of time so we could mitigate any type of confusion and trouble that might cause. The pier replacement from the contract, we have First Street going, Silverhead's going, and they're able to take off the wood from our main pier that needs to be replaced, and they're just waiting for that final piece of paper for them to rebuild and restructure our main pier. No issues as of yet with that operation. This week or next week. Pending your questions, that would conclude Public Works, which would also conclude the department reports.
Thank you. Any questions for the man? New business, item 11. We'll start with resolution 23-19. It's in tab B of your book. And what this is the town, including through the town manager, would like to start the 457 program. Yeah.
Just for council's refreshment, this is the retirement program that basically costs staff virtually nothing to implement. Our current employees can only contribute to 4% If somebody wants to catch up for retirement, let's say they have an employee that's in their 50s and was unable to contribute to what the legal maximum is, I think this year it's 19,000. This gives them the ability to go past their 4% and self-fund, so no additional money coming out of town coffers, but they can self-fund to get that tax-deferred growth status. This is a nice, it's a great opportunity for us to offer something to the employees that we previously haven't had at a little no cost.
So the administrative cost, it's mostly managed by, is this through VML?
Yes, it's through VML. It costs, I think, if I have an individual sign up out of staff, I think the administrative cost is like $9 to sign up. It's inconsequential.
I know that it's very popular in other jurisdictions.
Yes, sir.
So, Resolution 23-19 adopts the Commonwealth of Virginia 457 deferred compensation plan for town of Beach employees. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second. Discussion. Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Lehman?
Aye.
Mr. Serby?
Aye.
Mr. Overson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. All right. I'd just like to say one thing. If you could, make sure that you spend some time, quality time with employees, and let them know how important it is that they participate in this for their own sake.
Yes, sir.
Because it is a huge benefit to them in the long run.
Yes, sir.
Huge benefit. Okay.
For the town's future purposes, this really is a fund to try to get people who have already retired once to look for a second opportunity, because what this allows is for you to potentially put almost all of your income into a deferred compensation program, whereas before, if you started out just in your career early in life, you could only do a small percentage. This allows a large percentage to go in, so what we're hoping that this may do is entice some of the retired people who've already been through one career to possibly take a second career with the town.
Even the older employee who's been with an organization for 10 or 15 years can come over and bring a lump sum of money, still start at a fairly decent time. Okay. Next is Resolution 24-19 that directs the town manager to execute an agreement.
I can refresh council's memory. This is the purchase. All we're looking for is the council to direct the town manager to pursue the purchase card activity.
Yeah, P-cards.
Motion to approve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Motion to
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Lehman?
Aye.
Mr. Serb?
Aye.
Ms. Rose?
Aye.
And the motion passes, chair votes aye. All right, next is a little complicated. All right, so, Resolution 25-19 amends and appropriates fiscal year 2018-19 budget school fund. There's an amendment to this, and it should read, where it read $352,165, it now reads $362,487. In the top right box, where it read $7,490,707.02 or 80, is that 02 or 82? 82. It should read $7,501,104. Okay? So that's the amendment. Kathy, you have that?
I do.
So, is there a motion to approve the amendment?
So moved.
So second.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Lehman?
Aye.
Mr. Serby?
Aye.
Ms. Rose?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So the amendment to the motion to the resolution is approved. So now, as amended, Resolution 25-19. Is there a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve as amended, sorry.
And a second.
Second.
So, any discussion?
I just want to let everybody know, in case they're lying out there, this is state funds. This is not our funds coming from our direct budget, so
has not come directly from your tax money locally, but overall to the state. So in case anybody's worrying that we're doing that, I kind of got a little bit of fumbling up on the crowd. It's just, but I just want to make sure everybody knew that. Any other discussion? Mr. Hodges? Aye. Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye.
Mr. Surley?
Aye.
Ms. Robertson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Okay. Resolution 27-19 is adoption appropriation fiscal year 2020 budget and adoption and appropriation by category fiscal year 2020 budget for 23 school board. It's in tab E of your books. You've already seen this. And this is a public hearing, so we'll open the public hearing. And I have first to speak, Mr. Walter Kern.
Is this citizens' comment?
Yes, sir. This, you signed up for the adoption appropriation fiscal year 2020 budget adoption.
I signed up for citizens' comment.
Okay, got the wrong one, but that's okay. We'll put you on citizens' comment.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. Gardner, did you want to speak on this?
No.
Okay.
Thanks, him.
Okay. No worries. No worries. I get you. Bonita Diver? Diver?
I signed the thought one. I just followed everything.
Okay, no worries. No worries. How about Steve? I'm guilty of the same thing. Okay. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to, anybody that wanted to speak on behalf of this? This public hearing? Public hearing is closed. Resolution 27-19, adoption and appropriation. We're going to, we won't impose action on this until the May 22nd special meeting. Okay? You understand that? All right, so next on the agenda is citizen input. Let's try it. So you guys lost your place. Jen Vaughn, you're first.
Good evening. Cornwell, I see you're back from vacation. I hope you had a good vacation. I'm here to try to figure out a status on my drainage plan. When the process is going to start. Any idea?
Well, yeah, plat for right away has been drawn up. I'm waiting for the final plat to get to me, and at that time, deeds will be circulated for right away.
All right. And then, so we're still looking up, are we still looking at possibly getting this thing done before we get into the middle of the hurricane season?
Yeah, as soon as I get the plat, I'll do the deeds and get it to circle back.
All right, that's what I want to hear. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Jan Saylor.
Hi, I'm Jane Saylor. I live on 7th Street. I would just like to talk for a moment about the upcoming hike in our water bill. I understand that it hasn't happened yet, but it's in the works. So I just want to go on record, as you might imagine, to say that I feel like a $70 increase is quite exorbitant. We have lived in or owned our home for a little over 10 years now. And when we first came here, the water bill was $180 a month. I know it's a while back, so I understand it. Pardon me?
A quarter.
At a quarter, okay.
A quarter, not a month. It's billed every 3 months.
Yes, a quarter, thank
Yeah.
you, yes, I know that actually.
235.
I'm a little nervous, I've got.
It's okay, no, we're
Okay.
nervous too, don't worry.
In 2012, it went up to 210, and in 2014, up to 235. And that's what it is right now. So now we're going up to 305, potentially $70 increase. My husband and I are retired. We moved here 3 years ago. You know the story. We're on a fixed income. We have a modest income. We're not destitute by any means, but $70 is a lot of money. 70 times 4 is $280 a year. That's a lot. And I just was playing with numbers. The first increase, well, overall, the increase from when we came to now is an increase of $500 over those years, in 10 years. The cost of our water has gone up that much. And I honestly don't understand why that is. I'm not informed like I should be. I'm not exactly sure where to go to find out what that, why that went up. But with taxes and having risen, and for both the county and the town as well, and just life in general, some things I can control, like my medical costs and my medicine and my food, but then things like this are out of my hands. So we do have people here that are more than capable of spending that $70, and that's good for them. But just keep in mind, there's also others like myself, like single parents and so forth. You know what I'm talking about. It is tough. And $70 is really a lot. That's all I wanted to say.
If the council doesn't mind, thanks. Real quick, so we all feel the same way. And just to give you a little bit of history, what happened was, this is my opinion, and this is from being in this position for a while. We waited a very long time to fix our infrastructure. And because of that, we are now paying for something that we probably could have been paying for in increments all along. And so we have millions of dollars in bond issuance, which we have to pay under. At one point in time, we were actually forced by the state to use water meters. It wasn't an option that we had. This was something we have to do. And that came at a huge cost. All right? And everybody is paying it, and it's awful. It's awful. And I'm not saying that it wouldn't be as much as it is going to be or higher had we 50 years ago started the infrastructure replacements as needed. But we didn't. All right? So we're held accountable at this point in time. I will say this to you, and I don't know where you fall, but for anybody who falls in the category that it is such a burden that it's not affordable, barely affordable, we work with them individually. We have a process for that. We're more than happy. We totally understand fixed income. That's for a lot of people in fixed income. And unfortunately, that doesn't get better. It tends to get worse. So we recognize that. We do it for taxes. We do it for water and sewer. So even if you can't take advantage of it, if you know someone who can, please refer them to us, and we'll do whatever we can do to make sure that they have taken care of.
And looking at, for my numbers, I happened upon that on the website. I think you had to apply by April, is that right?
Well, because of the implementation timeframe, and we're not exactly sure when it will be fully implemented, because we're working with a consulting firm, and that's what they do. In fact, they help us mandate the increment increases. And it's done based on federal law and state law. So the town can't just say, we're going to arbitrarily charge this amount. It's done by federal and state law, so that it's not egregious and doesn't hurt people in fixed income. Even though it does, it hurts everybody. Everybody up here has to pay it. And none of us like it, but here's what it can do. We now have 8-inch lines where we might have had 2-inch lines. And that will support new businesses and bigger businesses, which will increase taxes, which at some point in time, I'm not going to tell you taxes will go down. I won't tell you your taxes will ever go down, because that probably will never happen. But it maybe all for more things. I just don't know. But That's typically the way it flows.
You suppose the 70 will go up?
Yes, I think that the 70 will go up. I do, I'm not gonna tell you no. I think it will. Yeah, but we're starting at that, and then once we reach, we have to carry by law a 20% buffer. And you know why we have to carry that? In case, so that moving forward, we can work on the infrastructure, so we don't get caught behind the ball again. And that's mandated. So, but once we get to that, we may be able to make adjustments to that.
The other thing is when we are doing history, as we're starting to add meters on, we're starting to be able to see consumption, and you'll be able to see consumption on your bills, and to see what your usages are, so that when you do go over to a metered water bill, your price may go down, depending on how heavy of a user. Some are gonna go up, some are gonna go down. So, you know, that's something that could very well change.
I have friends who are on a metered system and close by, and they said that they are two people living in a house and theirs was above the limit. So I'm a little nervous about what the limit's gonna be too.
Well, you know, and there's a consultant that's working that out for us as well. The one thing, it's hard to use the surrounding county areas, Westmoreland Shores, Stafford Harbor, and all that, as a governor for what our rates may be, because they had to pay for the entire infrastructure up front in their initial program. So their whole thing started from scratch, and they ended up paying the entire installations, connections, and everything once they put those in. So, I mean, odds are our fees are still going to be, currently are, and still will be less than, you know, Westmoreland Shores, Classic Bank, so on and so forth, because they had to actually build their entire system through a private authority. We're in a little better situation with that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you listening and thank you for your explanation.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
And one other thing I think a lot of people don't realize, I think, seen online, is they think that this is just for water, but this entire cost is also water and sewer. There's a lot of places in the surrounding area that your water bill is actually higher than our water and sewer combined, so that's something else to think about. It's not just your water bill, it's water and sewer combined.
Walker?
Is this public comment?
You got it. Those are some bad glasses.
Well, I had also,
Okay, there you go.
and anyway, I want to thank Public Works for the fantastic job they did on the golf cart and bicycle path a couple weeks ago. And I know Rod Murphy is not in attendance, but I did call Public Works last week, and I did tell them that I would say something at the Public Works, at the council meeting concerning that, because I've used that golf cart path a lot. But I will remind the town that they do need to maintain that path, do a better job of maintaining that path, better job than what they have been doing. And I thank you.
Thank you, Walker. Scott Gardner?
Good evening. I'd like to have some questions about the no-wake buoys in the creek. On October 19th, 2018, the town submitted an application to the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries to place the buoys out there. On April 12th, 2019, they were notified that their application had been denied for various reasons. And I did see on the Public Works that a couple of those reasons had been addressed. My question is, if the town knew that their application was denied, why was taxpayers' dollars spent to purchase and place the buoys? And then I also talked to Captain Robinson of Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, and he informed me that on Friday, he sent a crew up here to remove the buoys, to escort the town to remove the buoys. And then I observed Saturday morning a private boat out there with 2 town employees on there putting buoys back out in place. So after Game and Inland Fisheries has already told the town to take the buoys up, but they're not enforceable, why is the town putting them back out there?
Okay, I don't get it. I think Andy, if you have to.
I think I might be able to help out with that.
Okay.
When Captain Robertson was out there, I was with him. We spent 2 hours out there together. He did not tell us to take the buoys out. We negotiated to move the buoys from where they had previously were positioned about 75 more meters towards the Colonial Beach side, with the understanding that he wanted me to go ahead and order an additional, and I'm giving you an approximate number, probably about 25 to 30, because the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries intent is that we create a line, if you will, that kind of hugs our side of the channel, but not in the channel, but hugs our side of the channel every 125 yards they want to buoy. He also wants us to go out and contact the Coast Guard to see if we can put an arrow like Stafford and Quiet Harbor have on the channel markers, showing like an arrow pointing that it's the Colonial Beach side that is no weight. In addition to that, he wanted me to ensure with that I put a sign up at our boat launch ramp that kind of explains that the Colonial Beach side is no weight, Westmoreland County isn't. And he wanted me to confirm with our town attorney that we had a misdemeanor in place for enforcement purposes. That was a conversation that took place that Friday. The following, I want to say the following Wednesday thereafter, our public works went out and they were trying, and they made a mistake to where instead of moving them 75 meters in, they started to create the line that we discussed. In order for there not to be any additional confusion, I personally went out there the following day with 2 public works workers and put them where Department of Game and Inland officially originally intended them to end up at. With only 4 or 5 buoys that we have, you know the length of the day, there's no way that we can just cover that amount of real estate, so we wanted to ensure that that was it. But I've been in contact with Captain Robertson. I was out there with him when he made that determination. At no point did the buoys come out of the water.
Okay. He also made it clear to me that even after these issues on this application are addressed and a new application is submitted, there's no guarantee that they're still going to approve it.
Captain Robertson informed me that he believes that the approval process at that time would take 4 to 6 weeks. So 2 weeks has passed, so I would anticipate at the latest a month there will be a letter from DGIF, and that was Captain Robertson's words.
Okay. He also mentioned that right now they're not enforceable because they aren't approved. As we know, Memorial Day weekend is vastly approaching and there's a lot of people from out of town. He did say that because Colonial Beach put them out there, if somebody hits one of those that's not approved and they get injured, Colonial Beach is liable for that.
You bring up a great point that Memorial Day is right around the corner, and they're not going to have the new buoys, the 25 to 30 that are in place, which is probably why you had us keep them out there. That's probably why the buoys we were never instructed to take those buoys outside of the water. As far as the legal implications, if somebody hits the buoys, I defer to the attorney if that's liability of mine or the town's part.
Steve, you shook your head no,
Well, there's been private buoys out in Monroe Bay for several years already, not including just the ones that have been added now.
Approved?
No, never, just that belong to marinas, okay? The bottom line is this, there's been way too many people involved in this is the problem. People making statements to people and actual enforcement officers and so forth that are not involved in the permitting process of this at all. And they're saying...
I'm not getting my information from statements.
I understand,
I'm getting
but
it
bottom
from
line is
what's
this,
emailed to me.
Matacona Beach is going to have a no-wake zone on our side, period. It will be done, it will be approved. And the bottom line is that anybody coming through Monroe Bay throwing a wake is responsible for their wake, whether there's a buoy there or not.
Yes, that's true.
You know, and Most voters are courteous. A lot of people, if they see even a private marker, are going to slow down. But it's the people that aren't courteous and don't care, and the first-time voters who don't understand what a waykeeping does. But in a nutshell, there's been some confusion because there's been way too many people involved and way too many people calling and getting information instead of just letting it take its course properly. I'm not saying it wasn't done 100% right, and there's been some hiccups, but the bottom line is it's going to be approved, they are going to stay, and we are going to have a no-way zone on the town's side, and it will be enforceable just as any way for damage will be enforceable.
Okay, so, like you were saying, there's gonna be a line.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
say from, say, Dockside north, Westmoreland side would be on the west, Colonial Beach would be on the east side. Is,
So
you
just
stay
to-
to the left of those going up the creek?
Yeah, I'll do my best to explain it. So you're coming in from Dockside, going into the Monroe Creek. The intent is to have a straight line every 125 yards to have an airway buoy about 50 to 75 yards off of the channel marker. So that would take you in direction of the boathouse. So you can only take that straight line but so far, and you run into land. So keeping in spirit of that straight line, once you get towards the boathouse, then you are going to have another straight line, again with the spirit of hugging that 75 yards off of the channel marker, all the way towards, I guess, Curly's. And then once you hit Curly's, then it kind of becomes easier, and then it's just kind of a straight shot all the way down towards the condos.
I mean, in a nutshell, it's going to be in line with the reds and the greens, I mean, on our side of the channel, not in the middle of the channel. So if it went from point to point on the buoys, it's on our side, the town side of the channel, because the markers basically coming in are running to the right and you're running to the left. If they're running all the way, they're gonna run all the way up to Bayside Marina. And, I guess that, yeah, I mean, if, in a nutshell, what's really gonna work is if jet skiers are blowing up on the county side and are panned out and are not throwing a wake, basically, that'll be fine. But anybody coming through, even on the county side, throwing a 4-foot wake off the back of the boat is going to get nailed one way or another.
Well, another thing is, you may or may not notice, but even the buoys that are at the yacht center and come through the channels, those are private, those are Kyle's buoys. He owns those buoys. He has to maintain those buoys. He puts them out, he has to maintain them. So, I mean, the problem is some.
Yes, but they were placed with Game and Inland Fisheries approval.
Yeah, but there is buoys, that's right. And I can tell
And
you,
there
I
are
was at
laws, 100 foot within a marina, whether it's a sign or not.
This was started by a couple citizens, by the way, voters.
I'm aware.
And who sent us a letter, and then as time went on, I think it was 2015, something like that. And as time went on, it got worse and worse. I mean, I can vouch for it myself. And unfortunately, you don't do it, but there are people who do it. And what's interesting is somebody who you would think would be mostly opposed to it is not opposed to it, and that's Rusty Curley, who owns the campground. He supports this 100%. In fact, he's one of the bigger proponents behind it as well, for the very same reason. So it's a safety issue. It just comes down, if people would just not throw the wakes so close to people getting on off their boats and things like that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But we've gotten to a point now where you're just not behaving like that, not acting like that. And it's not every day, for sure. And like I said, it's not people like you, I know that. But, I mean, I've got video of people pulling kids on jet skis, on tubes, within 35, 40 feet of the marina.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just dangerous. I mean,
I agree with you on that,
I don't
yes.
know how you fix that. I mean, I just don't know. And I'm not sure that this will fix it, quite frankly. That's just crazy, but, it is. I grew up here in the 60s and 70s skiing, tubing, and that was where we went. It was safe for us, something we could send kids. There weren't near as many boats in the bay at the time. And, unfortunately, we have had a couple of fatalities, as you're aware of, and we just don't want that to happen. So that's how it got started. I was in the very original meeting at the county with DGIF and Game and Inland Fisheries. And at that meeting, there was no apprehension from them at all for us to do this. In fact, they thought it was smart. They couldn't really understand why it hadn't been imposed before.
What was their idea for us to put it on our side of town line?
And then, I can figure in my head what happened, but I'll leave that for everybody else's ability to figure what happened. But some other folks got involved in it, and they made it more difficult, which is not unusual. We get it, but we decided, we had a public hearing, we voted in an ordinance for it at the town right here, and we decided we're going to stand to it and stick to it. And we're going to move forward with it, and hopefully it's not, it doesn't hurt too many people. Again, if you're on that side of the buoys currently, I think you can do whatever you want. I mean, we don't have jurisdiction. We have jurisdiction. The town of Colonial Beach in 1892 charter owns to the center point, actually a little bit past it, but we agreed to move them back in 75 yards this way. So we're trying to be as collaborative as we can.
I understand. And
We really are.
you feel 100% certain that this is going to eventually going to be approved and it's going to be an enforceable?
I do, yeah.
Because I get a totally different vibe from talking to Captain Robinson yesterday.
And I'm really sorry
I
that
guess
Captain Robinson took it upon himself to do that after.
Well, I called him.
Spent all day with
I called him to find out.
Right.
Because there was one, what really upset me was there one 50 feet right off of my pier at my house. And that wasn't there
Well,
Friday.
I have a couple questions about it. Have you?
It is gone now. I will say it is gone now.
You
But
vote as much as probably more than anybody.
Yes.
Or more than I do, for sure. When I see no wake zones, I don't see them 125 yards apart. I see them a lot farther apart.
well, it really should be common sense as to where you can throw a wake and where not to.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of floaters with
I
common sense.
understand that too.
But I will tell you this, that, purportedly, the governor is aware of it. So,
Yes, he is.
so, I mean, we get it, we understand, we're just little Colonial Beach, but in the meantime, we really feel like we want to protect the citizens and voters.
And you know, all the marinas really are on the town side.
Yeah.
Else you would have people on the county side raising ruckus.
Well, I know there are quite a few over there that are.
Well, but again, the property owners, there's no marinas over there. Would you call that one thing marina?
Well, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Bonita?
Hi, I'm Benita Diver, and what I'm calling about.
Oh, Mike,
Oh, that's right, I'm sure. I have an ongoing problem. Does anybody know when the short telephone poles are coming down? Last fall, there's a tall one and a short one. And when they fixed it, there's a sidewalk with a pipe underneath it, which is full of mud now, and my yard stays wet. It can go a week without rain, and it's still soft as wet. Because the water that's coming out of my yard to go to the ditch only stays there because that pipe is full. And I've been told, town can't do anything until they take the telephone pole down. Chris,
What's your address?
411 Marshall Avenue. I sent emails, I've called, done everything, and nothing is happening except the fleas love our yard. The mosquitoes think it's a great place to live. Because this has been going on
Well,
forever.
we have been pushing for this. You do realize when the power company comes in, does the pole, they move their power. Then Atlantic Broadband needs to come in, Verizon needs to come in. And I don't know if you've noticed, they just leave their wires hanging all over the place. And we're trying to get,
But I want to ask the question when I put the sidewalk in by one of your employees. I didn't put that sidewalk in. But that was a dumb question for someone to ask me. I just want it fixed. I'm sick of the mosquito. I'm sick of my yard being soaking wet all the time. And I like something done.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
Well, it's, the town manager has your address and your name. and-
Yeah, I think I've talked to, are you Quinn? I talked to him, and then Chris came out,
Okay.
and I haven't heard anything since October. And it's time for something
Again,
to
the
happen.
town doesn't do it, we have to keep putting it over to
And it was
Dominion Power.
the company that put the tall
Mhm.
post in, an
Dominion
old.
Power is their.
It's a red, I wish I'd have written the name down, I didn't.
Okay.
It has the red logo on it. But I haven't seen them in a long time. Are they coming back?
Dominion Power owns it, they use a lot of subcontractors, Elliott Electric, people like that who actually set these poles, but it's a Dominion Power issue.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you can fix it. That's all I want, is it the sidewalk fixed. I don't care how it's done. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Steve?
Evening, everyone. I just want to kind of elaborate a little bit with the lady in reference to the meters. Since the meter's been installed in my house, I've had low pressure, and it's been a significant drop in pressure. And I understand I work for a utility company, for which I was not named, but I understand you've answered some questions that I had previously from what her question was. I get it that now we're 8-inch, which is supply and demand, okay? And that the meters that we have, or that have been installed, are now regulating our GPMs, gallons per minute, right? Okay, with that being said, and this increase in the bill from 235 to 305 or 310, whatever it is, you know, I believe that's a significant, you know, amount. But in reference to, I mean, I have a question. On a water house connection, or water house connection, being business or residential, is that the same bill? No? Okay. So what you have in the meters, it's going to be based on consumption, correct? Okay, so and based on that consumption, I guess the data that you're collecting is from the meters that we're doing right now, is that correct? Okay. So, I mean, you've answered, I know the path you're taking and so forth, and I appreciate that. But what I want to inquire is maybe there could be tiers, you know, as far as in payment. Like elderly or single couples, you know, if it's $10,000 a year, or 10,000 gallons, you know, their rate is $5, you know, per 1,000 gallons, or whatever it may be. And if you reach another tier, that level goes up. And of course, after you reach tier 4, let's say, and it's over $40,000, say the car wash, they're the one that's paying for the supply and demand, you know, and so forth. Where I want to get at is, my main concern was the actual significant pressure loss that I have, and if the increase in your budget, does that allow for infrastructure for water main, or at least increase in the water house connection?
What street is it?
Stratford, 2713.
Yes, that's what the 20% overage is for. And the company, the consulting firm that came to us via the state and all, they set the rates. We did I don't know if you were here for the meeting where.
First meeting I've ever attended, so.
Did a presentation about water usage, and they have all these numbers of what a family of 4 typically uses, a family of 2, it's based on ages of the children, things like that. And then that's how these numbers are set. And the way the numbers are set is based on data from around the country, not just on the beach.
Right.
So we'll get mean numbers out of those, and that's how it's set. And I think is it 5,000 gallons?
5,000 sounds right, sure. So there is somewhat of a graduated thing. So if you're residential and you stay below that 5,000 number, then it's almost, it feels like a flat fee because you're not getting charged any fluctuating rates. If you go over that number, which again I do believe it's 5,000 or close to it, then there is a rate change. And it's commensurate with the type of usage. And I can't remember if it's for every 100 gallons or for every 1,000 gallons. I think it was 1,000. That same with commercial. commercial will operate that same way. So a car wash will considerably use more than, I don't know, a soda showing shop, so.
Do you know what the current rate would be at 1,000 gallons?
I don't know, because I don't get to set the rates, and that's kind of why they're monitoring what they're doing for a calendar year. One of the reasons why they want to give us that much time is because we're a tourist town, and our seasonal water usage and activity varies differently from month to month, versus somewhere out there in agricultural rural area that's probably flatline. We're kind of up and down, so they want to see what it is, and then probably take what makes sense from a math perspective over the course of 12 months and come to that rate.
So eventually we'll come to a consumption where you're not paying the $305 every quarter. You're paying based on your usage.
Right, with the understanding that there's always going to be a flat consumption fee, so there's going to be a base fee.
And right now, when will you be able to determine as far as a rate for your 1,000 gallons per?
They should be reaching out to us this calendar year, but towards the end of this calendar year to start that discussion. I typically have meetings with them every 2 to 3 months, just to make sure that they're getting everything they need from us, the data, et cetera, et cetera. But we totally anticipate them starting to show us and start the discovery process of what that looks like towards the end of the year.
I mean, they need a minimum, I believe, of a 6-month period of usage before they can even start plugging in their calculations.
I get it.
You know, and I mean, you said you're in, utilities. I mean, we're a municipal-owned water and sewer utility. We're under certain state law because we own our own utility. If it was a private water authority, that's under a state regulated thing, with different rules, but it's still regulated by the government. So, I mean, we're not making it up as we go. We're having to follow the authorities under the state for owning the municipal water.
Okay, so based on consumption, the 305, that will eliminate 305 every quarter.
Yeah, that's why we're having to.
Because you're just on the basis of collecting data, getting all your data together to establish your 1,000 gallons per minute is this much money.
They're monitoring it right now. We're getting new readings every day. In fact, it's been helpful because we found leaks.
Well, that's it. It's helping us find leaks. It's helping people find leaks in their houses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you.
To elaborate on something that Eddie said earlier, we got to a point with the state funding mechanism, which is mostly DHCD and the agricultural department. Well, we were not allowed to borrow any more money for water and sewer improvements because we did not have water meters. So we were forced to do this before we could even go further with any further infrastructure improvements in the town on water and sewer. We had no choice.
We were actually on state probation. Yes, we were off. So, it's been hard on everybody, believe me. It's not easy. It's really hard on the staff and administration.
Well, the debt service that we have to carry.
Well, it just didn't make sense for me to see you be able to meter water, but yet alone have a use it or lose it program at the same time. That's why I understand now that you're just gathering the data and the numbers for what you need to be able to get your $1,000, rate and so forth where you can charge, the residents that only have 2 people living in the house versus 7.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Swimming pools, sprinkler systems.
Okay. Then we are ready for a closed meeting, correct? Is there a motion to continue this meeting on May 22nd, 6 p.m.? Motion. For a second. Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Union?
Aye.
Mr. Service? Aye. Ms. Phillips? Chair votes aye. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.